The late afternoon sun bled gold across the open prairie, painting long shadows that clung to every post and tumbleweed. Dust rolled along the main street of Dry Creek, a place where hope had dried up years ago, leaving behind the smell of whiskey, sweat, and regret. The saloon doors creaked, the blacksmith hammered, and yet in the midst of that everyday racket, something fragile walked right into the center of it all. A little girl no more than 8 years old, barefoot and trembling, clutching a ragged doll with one arm missing. Her eyes scanned the dusty street, until they landed on a man sitting on the steps of the general store, a hat low over his brow, boots worn from endless miles, spurs that jingled softly when he shifted. He was a cowboy, one of those men folks whispered about in the corners, part myth, part scar. He was nursing a cigarette, watching the horizon like it owed him an answer. The girl stepped forward, heart hammering so loud it might have been heard over the horses tied nearby. She tugged gently at his sleeve, and when he looked down at her, eyes sharp as the desert sun, she whispered, almost afraid of the sound of her own words, "Mama said you might help." For a moment, the cowboy didn't move. He just stared, that silence weighing heavy between them, the kind of silence that either saves or kills. Then the cigarette dropped into the dirt, crushed beneath his boot, and he leaned down. "What's your name, darling?" he asked, voice gravelly yet soft. She clutched her doll tighter. "Ellie." The cowboy nodded slow. "What happened, Ellie?" Her lip trembled. "Mama. She's hurt. Bad. Said to find you. Said you'd know what to do." Those words struck harder than a bullet. He felt something stir in his chest, something he thought long buried under whiskey and scars. He lifted her up in his arms, fragile, like porcelain, and without hesitation whispered, "I got you now." And in that moment, the cowboy wasn't just a drifter anymore. He was a shield, a savior, and maybe, just maybe, the last hope Ellie's mama had left. He swung her onto his horse, mounted up, and rode hard toward the outskirts of town where the setting sun promised more darkness than light. The ride to Ellie's homestead was silent, save for the pounding of hooves and the wind tearing through the empty plains. She clung to him, small fingers gripping his weathered coat, her trust given so easily it nearly broke him. The cowboy had carried guns, secrets and sins, but never something so pure as a child's fragile faith. When they reached the shack, a lonely structure, leaning against the earth like it was too tired to stand, he saw the door swinging in the wind. Inside, the smell hit him first. Blood, desperation. He pushed the door open, gun drawn, eyes sharp. There on the bed, pale as the moon, lay Ellie's mother, a woman with the same eyes as her daughter, though clouded now with pain. She smiled faintly when she saw him. "Knew you'd come," she whispered, voice cracking. He knelt beside her, taking her hand. Memories flashed in his mind, her laughter, long ago, back when he was a different man, back before life had carved him into something cold. He had loved her once, though time and mistakes had stolen that love away. And now here she was, broken and fading. "Please," she rasped, "don't let her be alone. Promise me." His throat tightened. He wanted to argue, to swear he wasn't fit for such a promise. But when he looked into Ellie's eyes, brimming with tears yet glowing with hope, the words came easy. "I promise." With that, the woman closed her eyes for the last time, and silence filled the room. The cowboy stood, his arms wrapping around Ellie as she sobbed into his chest. In that moment, the weight of every choice, every mile, every scar found its purpose. He had nothing left to give this world but himself, and for her, that was enough. From that day on, the cowboy never let her go. Through dust storms, outlaw threats, and nights colder than steel, he carried her, raised her, protected her. She became the reason he rose at dawn, the reason he fought when bullets flew, the reason he kept living when the world begged him to quit. Dry Creek whispered of a legend, of a cowboy who'd once been lost but found redemption in the arms of a little girl who called him her hero. And as the years stretched long, Ellie grew strong. But no matter how tall she stood, he never stopped holding her like that first day. never stopped hearing her whisper, "Mama said you might help." And he never stopped being the man who answered,